Hello, welcome back to Sushi LiveNoding. In this episode, we're gonna continue explorations on the mass expression nodes inside SphereChalk. I really like this from selection button in the mass expressions. It's kind of like allowing the user to have control whenever they want to select a bunch of components and they want to modify it inside SphereChalk. It's kind of instead of leaving everything into SphereChalk, it's kind of giving the user control over which components to be selected and then which ones to be to be modified. So I spent like an hour to play around with it and find a little bit of gotcha, but I finally find out how to do this properly. So yeah, just let's get started. I'm gonna start with some kind of scenario if you ever wanna perhaps like build some kind of house, like a very simple house. You probably manually want to start from the base object like this. I'm gonna start with a cube, but I'm gonna turn this into a single vertices at the center. So now we have nothing, just a single vertices at 0, 0, 0. And the next thing I want to do is I want to switch to the front view to orthographic, and I will switch on the grid snapping, and I'm gonna start extruding this kind of to generate a profile. And with the profile we can continue working inside SphereChalk and kind of building like a very simple house. So I'm gonna extrude it once. Seems like the snapping doesn't work yet. Maybe I didn't turn it on. So I have to turn this guy in. And what is this? Absolute grid alignment. Okay. So we still have a single vertices, and I'm gonna tap E, and then I will snap it. Just make like a 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 units to the side, and then I extrude it again. Bring it up, extrude it again, put it in the center, and then extrude, and connect back to the original. So we basically have a, oops, actually this one has to be connected, F. Okay, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points, just some kind of rectangle. I'm gonna save this real quick. This is SV house advanced. Okay, with this thing, like look at it. This is like just like a 6 points, making a square, making like a rectangle, and you can create anything. I mean, you can create all sort of objects using this setup. I'm gonna show you really quickly. So we're gonna jump into SphereChalk, and once it's become like a kind of like a data inside SphereChalk, we can modify it into anything. Okay, create a new, and normally you want to use objects in. This is how you might do it. This is actually can be simpler if you've been following my LiveNoding. I used to do this in the past, and then so we have the, let me turn off the grid snapping, and I'll put this to the side. So we have this original mesh, and I bring it into SphereChalk using objects in, and we can see we have 6 points. We can use the viewer, index viewer, to see the points more clearly, and give it a color. Okay, so this guy, we're just gonna keep it for now. So we can see 6 points we generate. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 points altogether. That's the index number. And normally, let's say if I want to modify points number 3, I can use list input perhaps, or list item. and kind of pipe in this data, and let's say I want to move just that point number 3, then I specify, okay, that's the point I want to move. And then I move it using vector math or move nodes. So this way I can, I can start moving that points. That's how I probably have how I try to move that objects in the past. Slightly complicated, actually very kind of not easy, but this is, you can do it this way. A more correct way is that if you use list mask out and list mask join, so you pipe in the points data. We have only 6 points, remember, and then we're gonna have to use some kind of masking, and then we pipe in this data that's true and data that's false. And so, okay, we are back, and we're gonna provide like list input, and this is gonna be the masking. We just need like a 6 true or false, and we know that's points number 3, I think, is the one that we want to move. So this is like a true false, right? 0 and 1 for true and false for masking. And we're gonna move the data that's true. There you go. It's working. It is moving that vertex, that particular vertex number with index number 3. Because yeah, this kind of setup will be kind of common if you're starting to get more advanced in SquareTalk. Really, it's not that complicated. We simply select index points number 3, which is this guy. We turn on. We can turn it off and turn on. We can actually turn on, like, if we turn on 2 and 4, you can see now these guys are moving. Suddenly you have control over that thing over there. So it is pretty cool. And then because you can further kind of use this setup 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. This is like to move a component. Probably I can join it as a frame, but I'm just gonna keep it for now like this. Did I edit something? This guy suddenly changes. Just gonna hit undo. Okay, we are back. Wonder why I delete this. Okay, so now it's still working. I think it's better to use shift and then kind of tidy this up a little bit. Don't forget about it. I'm gonna cut this, and then I'm gonna duplicate this one and pipe in the polygon edges for there. So this is all the operations. First one, second. Again, we're gonna pipe in the data. Okay, now we are back. For the second one, I'm gonna just move number 3. So now, see, this is what kind of the points I want to come across to you, kind of a way. Currently, it is a little bit convoluted, a little bit because of all these nodes. I think it can be simplified in the future. I'm pretty sure someone will do it. But this gives us control over each components, right? But currently the way we do it is that we need to always use this masking, like this is kind of manual, and we kind of turn on and off which point we want to select. not not the most intuitive way. So the way to do it with the mass expression is actually much more expressive in a way. It's much more user friendly. So I'm gonna keep the one at the top. Okay, I'm gonna save this again just in case. So the way we do it now, we have this data coming in from this guy, and we can always use mass expression to select points very easily. First, we want to select these points 1, 2, 3 at the top, and then we want to be able to move it, right? So we simply go to edit mode and select 3 points, and then get it from selection, and we should get this set up already for us. There's a move and then list mask, whatever, and we don't need this guy. Delete. We can actually just pipe in the mask from this guy right here, selection. This is, I really like this from selection button, like I said. So okay, so we pipe in the data from this guy, and this one level list should be level 2, and selected goes into the mask. Okay, seems to be working, everything good. Suddenly it's broken, it doesn't work. There's a bit of gotcha. This mass expression, at least one of these polygon data needs to be connected into viewer draw in order to work. For now, I think it's a bit of bugs, but you will see that, okay, this guy over here, the blue color, I'm gonna give it a different color, and I will move it to the side and just to have it as a comparison. Okay, that's the green one. It's already working. The one that we are working is the one at the bottom. I'm gonna give this a different color. Let's hope that this is working as expected. So this guy, viewer draw, this one can be off. So there is this guy, and then edges. Okay, edges data coming in. So now we have this guy, the red color, and we can move this as well. The cool thing, the really cool thing about this mass expression is that it's always giving the user control to the components being selected or not selected. So like with this guy, if we are doing it manually, we select this tree and then we move it up, and then we move this one at the middle, and then we have some kind of profile for the house. Okay, that's what we're gonna do inside SphereChalk. Once again, using mass expression just to get the mask. I'm going to duplicate. No, I'm going to do a manual selection once again. Put this a bit higher there, so that's already working. This one, the one we are working on. Now we want to select just the one at the center, this 1 point. Go back to object mode, mass expression. Once again, hit that button. Now you get this. You don't need this guy. This should be level 2. And this guy should be connected to viewer draw, and we turn it off like so. And so we only need to have this selected actually, but the data coming from this guy, and this is the final data. And based on the whenever we hit on that button, it's gonna generate this text dump like a JSON format. Once again, see, this is the first one, this is the second one, and you can tell which one being selected. This is the second one. 1 point being selected. This the one in the center. The first one, you can see 3 points being selected, which is 1, 2, 3 right there. Okay, so now that this is working, actually it's gonna be nicer if this I think selected and the button needs to be separate. I found that to be a little bit more intuitive, but I think it is a part of the mesh expression. Um, did you see just what I did just now? If you select mesh expression and then Control H, it will actually hide everything, hide every other attributes. This is actually Blender thing. If you have a node and you have a lot of attributes that you don't use, you can Control H to hide those things. It's a toggle. So since we are only worrying about the selected, then we can hide the rest like that. Okay, now it's about a bit cleaner, and we can Control J and then frame it. So this give the mask, and then this one is doing the movement. Still a little bit convoluted, but it's actually getting there. You see, now we have control over that guy. So we are doing the same thing what the one up there doing, but at any point in time we can tell Blender, okay, like while we are still having this guy selected, we can tell, okay, maybe we want to have the bottom one, or maybe we want to change the components being selected. You can always trigger this button and then it will update it for you. Yes, so we have this and we have that. We can now finally make our house. So from profile, we want to extrude. You can use extrude edges, I think. Oops. Extrude edges. Drag that points. Pipe in the edges. You should be getting some kind of extrusion. Here we go, and let's do it in the y-axis. So that's some kind of house, and then you can bake it, add solidify. You can add solidify inside SpecTrock as well. Currently it is hollow, but you can always add some kind of extrusion again to get the thickness, or better yet, if you use fill hole beforehand. So pipe in this guy and then fill the hole. The hole is like based on 6 sides, 6 points. We should have this polygon being filled, and then after we do that, we can use extrude region. Same deal, just it's like a solid object now, and in order to separate the to do the roof, you can separate the roof part and then extrude it up, and then yeah, that's the whole procedure. But for now it's just gonna be like a simple house like this, and we can always, the nice thing about this, we can always kind of adjust this. You see, it's pretty cool. I think that should be 1, and it should be like that. And this is the control over the Z. Okay, just based on this profile, just like a polygon data with 6 points, we managed to create like some kind of parametric setup. It is a little bit complicated, but you'll get, once you understand this idea, it is actually very powerful. And so yeah, just being able to give control backs to the user here via the mesh expression and then selected mask, you get this, and you're gonna have like a bunch of this over time, but really that's like really powerful. You suddenly like being able to cluster and group a bunch of vertices and then move it procedurally. So maybe in the near future I will try to do this using a simple face maybe, and then or maybe like some kind of stick figure, and then we're gonna do something with a skin modifier, and we're gonna create some kind of creature procedurally using this method. It's gonna be interesting. Okay, so thanks again for tuning in. This one is a bit long. If you have any question or feedback suggestion, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks again. Bye.